All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another Spin That Shit podcast. We got a great show today. It's basically it's a podcast about a podcast. Now, I know most of you that tuned into this show probably have heard of Hippies and Cowboys Podcast. I'm a fan. I love what those guys are doing. Got Mike Hart on the show. And honestly, there could be a lot of other shows and podcasts, radio stations, whatever you want to call them, that support this type of country music that's out there, that's, overshadowed by mainstream pop country crap that we just can barely stand. But yeah, there's a lot of good music out there, and I believe their podcast and ours and some others out there are really doing justice to, the underground scene, if you want to call it that, or whatever. But true country music, in my opinion. So Mike's a great guy. We're just basically shooting the shit, asking each other questions, and kind of seeing how he started, and talking about some festivals that are coming up this summer that we'll be at, running around the country, and that's basically it. So stay tuned for that. I do want to say thanks for everyone that's subscribed on the YouTube channel. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and if you'd like, you want to donate us a couple bucks, throw us a bone here. There's a PayPal. Under most of these episodes, I believe, there's a PayPal link, and you can click and throw $1 or $2 or whatever. Mike and the guys at Hippies and Cowboys Podcast, they got a Patreon. They got a lot of other stuff going on as well. Check out that. They got a merch page. So check out all their gear as well. And that's enough rambling. Let's go talk to Mike.
Sweet, man. How's everything going?
Good. It's been a good thing we're not doing this in person, because right now I probably smell so bad.
Dude, you're telling me. I'm a track coach, so I just got done with track practice. So I was running around. It was hot as shit today, so I stink. I smell like a can of sardines.
I smell like a skunk infused with something terrible.
Yeah. Are we live right now? Do you roll right into it?
I'm recording.
Oh, sweet.
You can say that. I guess I should have told you.
No, I was just shooting the shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I planned on doing.
Sweet. That's all we ever do.
Let's talk about music, BS a little bit, and talk about how bad we smell,
Yeah, perfect. I had smell bad right on my notes sheet here, so perfect. Yeah.
I'm a taxidermist, and we also sell trapping supplies and shit.
Yeah.
And, we make a bait for catching coyotes.
Okay.
It's called Top Dog Predator Bait, and it's pretty rank. It's mixed with some fresh meat, but it's got some rotten shit in there too. Mm-hmm. But that's not even the worst of it. We make a winterized version for people that live in really cold areas.
Yeah.
So it's even stronger. We add skunk essence to it. And someone ordered a gallon today, and I had to go out back and mix that shit up. And it's just like, I think my nostrils are burned out, dude.
Does it cling to you? Like, do you have to wear a suit or something? Like, I feel like that would just you couldn't even shower that away.
You can, you guys don't stand downwind, and I usually leave my clothes outside for like 3 days before I even try and wash them. It's crazy.
Yeah. Where are you at?
I'm in central Indiana.
Okay. Because
not too far.
I was talking to that Ben Todd, Jason Day West crew the other day, and they mentioned that they're headed to your way, and I was like, I don't even know where that's at. But central Indiana. Okay. That's cool, man. What, guess what towns are in? That's Indianapolis isn't technically central, right?
Yeah, it's dead center, pretty much.
That's dead center. Damn it. My geography skills fail me again.
It's kind of crossroads hub, and then you start heading south. It starts rolling pretty good. It starts to feel more like Kentucky and southern Indiana, and then the northern half is pretty flat, more farm, lots of corn. Being in
I got
Iowa, I'm sure you know all about it.
Yeah, Northern Indiana looks like home to me. I have my roommates from Southern Indiana, like south of Bloomington, a ways.
Okay.
Not like the super far south, like in that little tip, but like down that way, pretty close to Louisville.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I'm about
he's
an hour and a half north of Bloomington.
I gotcha. Yeah, but my roommate, if you told somebody he was from Kentucky, you'd believe it. He acts like he's from Kentucky,
Right.
From the hills. But no, Indiana.
Jump the river. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you got it. I was just gonna say something dumb.
No, I just wanted to really chat with you, man, because we have a lot in common. We had a lot same with music and podcasts. Guests are pretty damn similar half the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like we need more of this, really. I mean, shit, there's so much crap radio out there. I feel like me and you have a lot of common interests that, they need guys like us help pushing some of this underground shit.
I feel like I call it underground. Yeah, independent underground. It's all the same. But I feel like the mainstream climate, or like the average country music listener in Indiana is very similar to what it probably is in Iowa, right? Like, just where it's really hard to discover. Like, nobody knows about even like the Tyler Childers of the world, like the bigger names of the underground country. Like, nobody fucking knows or cares around here. Yeah. Indiana might be better because you're like closer to Kentucky. Like, you're basically northern Kentucky.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It just depends on the age group and who you talk to, and it's very strange. It's like a underground community where everyone knows everything, or they just don't know shit at all.
Yeah. It's like, it's niche genre kind of deal. But yeah, the people who know about it fucking like they live it, people like you and me, we live it. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I feel like, we definitely got a lot in common with the country music, like the interviews and everything like that. How long have you been doing it?
I just
like spin that shit.
It just it's weird how it kind of happened, really. I already do one for work, and it's trapping related. We have guests from all over and talk about trapping and regulations and all that stuff. And so I just kind of got into it that way on a business side. I work for my father-in-law, but my other interests outside of outdoor stuff is just music all the time. I got music on all the time and play a little bit of banjo. I'm not really the greatest in the world, but I play for fun. And
dude, I got one of them too.
It's perfect to annoy the wife with.
Yeah. My girlfriend was very unimpressed because I had one and I never played it, so I got rid of it. And then just the other week, my buddy was like, I went over and we were drinking some Busch Lights, and he has this banjo and he never plays it. He's like, you need to learn it for when we jam out. You need to get back to it. So then I told my girlfriend that he had loaned me his banjo for a while, and she was not thrilled. Well, she'll get over it or leave me, one of the two.
Right. That's how I got started. The pandemic hit and I was bored.
Yeah.
Nobody was touring. So I just started, I had this podcast gear from work. I just put it to use and started. I was already friends with Sierra Farrell.
Oh yeah.
She's a friend. And so I just, had her start it off. She kind of got my foot in the door with people, listening.
That's what it takes, is like knowing one person. Like, once you get your first like real guest on, then it's like you get some validity. But how do you just like casually know Sierra Farrell? Like,
I know. Oh shit, let me think. Oh yeah, this all goes back to the being a taxidermist and stuff. I was following her online. She had a show coming up at a little vinyl record shop. This is before she was signed or any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A few years back, and she must have noticed a post I made or something, and she messaged me, said, "Hey, I want one of those furs or something." I can't remember exactly what it was. I think I had a fox fur or something like that.
Yeah.
She asked if I could get her one. I was like, well, yeah, if you're going to be at the show in Indy or whatever, I'll be there and I'll hook you up with all kinds of random shit. I gave her some bones and fur and all this stuff, and we kind of hung out that night with some friends and ran around town. And then I asked her later on to play at our shop at a rendezvous, Trapper's Rendezvous, a few years ago. So her and Nate showed up, another guy on the bass, Jed Clark, and yeah, just kept in contact.
Dang,
we went and saw her at the Ryman right around the New Year's Eve with Old Crow. I went down to see her for that show.
That's the most How I Met Sierra Farrell story of all time. Like, oh, she liked my furs, and I gave her some bones and shit, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, for real.
That's exactly what I would imagine, I guess, of that situation.
I usually give something to an artist, like it's kind of a known thing. This would be good for those Kentucky boys. The Kentucky toothpicks. They're actually coon picks boiled down to just a bone. Nobody knows what they look like. Then you give them to them, and here's a little gift for you. And they're like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, "It's Kentucky toothpick. Put it in your mouth." It's a coon pecker. But
dude, I see those. I feel like I see those for sale every once in a while when you're out in the sticks.
Yeah,
like down in the Ozark, kind of. There's just a jar of raccoon peckers.
Speaking of which, I got one. I guess. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. The hook. Yeah.
Yeah. I usually wear them in my Stetson. I put one there and people notice it. But
that's awesome.
So how'd you get started with Hippies and Cowboys? You shouldn't be interviewing me. I'm interviewing you here.
Oh, I thought it was just a conversation. No. So we started, I got pissed off one day. It was the exact day I discovered Turnpike Troubadours. I got really angry that I had not discovered them sooner. It was probably 2015 or 14. And they've been around for a while since and then you go down the rabbit hole at all these other bands and they've been around for a while. It's like, how the fuck do we not know about this? Because I grew up on country music. I lived on a farm, like the 90s country thing. And then high school and college, I'd totally given up on country because all I knew was the mainstream, and it wasn't as accessible then as it is now to find that stuff. And maybe I was just an idiot, couldn't find it, but no, that's kind of nobody knows about it here. The average person doesn't know about it. It's getting better, I feel like, with all the various ways of discovering music now and social media platforms and all that. But so when I discovered Turnpike, I went down that rabbit hole, went to all these shows. You go from Turnpike to Whiskey Myers to that was right when Childers and Coulter they're tiny then. Like we saw Tyler and Des Moines, and he played for 12 people, and the group I was with was 5 or 6 of them. They were small yet. And then I don't know, I decided to make a Twitter account mocking the mainstream pop country. And so I conveniently made my Twitter handle into pop country, which I wish I could change now to something more positive, but it's just past the point of no return on that.
What's it called? I don't have Twitter.
Pop country.
In pop country?
Yeah. And it got, people agreed with me. So it kind of got big pretty fast. And big in my eyes. It's not big, probably to many people, but I'm at I don't know. I think around the time I was at around 10,000 followers, Garrett McKee, who had another account, his was similar, but his was newer, greener. and I don't know, he had a couple hundred or something. And he's like, hey, we should do a podcast together. I was like, I don't know you. And you live in Canada. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I also don't know anything about podcasts at this point. Like, never really listened or anything. And I don't know, we just had our 2-year anniversary. So I don't know, a little over 2 years ago that he's messaging me this stuff and shit. We bought some terrible, cheap USB mics online and played around with the Zoom, got some small guests on, and started Hippies and Cowboys Podcast. And I guess that's how that started out. Yeah. And now we like to do other shit though. Like, podcast is good and well. I feel like people pay attention when independent people like you and me, when we're talking about music. The people that know us, they listen more than like your same old cliche Rolling Stone article. Like, and I'm not saying like me and you are a Rolling Stone, like it's Rolling freaking Stone, but like I can't remember the last time I've clicked on a Rolling Stone article. It's the same interview every time. Like, no one really gives a shit. Like, people who are in this community care about like this kind of shit. And it's like we talk about, you know, being sincere in the music, and like not cliche, meaningful lyrics, you know, not just doing the whole song and dance, going through the motions of what everybody else is doing. So it's like, why not have
just be yourself,
a podcast, or like, you know, platforms like this to also be accountable to that and like change things up and care and have some meaning into things. And coming at it as fans is kind of a different thing, but more people are doing it now, I feel like, and it's good. Like, that's what this in like underground country needs, or folk or Americana or whatever the hell you want to call it. That's what it needs, is people, more fan meme accounts and podcasts and shit like that to get people engaged in it is good. You know, like the Grady Smith YouTube account, even, like he gets a lot of new ears on stuff all the time. Like, you know, Gaptooth Snodgrass.
I don't know if me. Go ahead.
No, I don't know if you're familiar with Gaptooth Snodgrass, but you should be if you're not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who is Gaptooth Snodgrass? That's the big question.
That's what everyone needs to be Googling right now that are listening. Got to go down the rabbit hole.
Nobody knows who he is.
Oh, maybe.
Ain't nobody. Ain't nobody knows. You won't convince me otherwise. Unless the only way to convince me that somebody knows who Gaptooth Snodgrass is if they show me their phone signed into the actual Instagram account. That'd be the only way I'd be convinced. But I don't know.
That's one way to do it.
Only one way. Yeah.
So that would, see, if you're a little over 2 years, we probably started close to the same time then.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
It went so. I took a long gap in there. I did like a few shows, and some shit happened in my life where I just didn't want to do anything. It's kind of down and out and depressed about it. And I probably didn't even do or asked to do a podcast with anyone for like 4 or 5 months. So I'm that, you know, ever since then, though, it's been like a weekly thing.
Yeah, dude, I get that same thing where like you go through phases of being ambitious and reaching out for emails. And then, well, now it's like people email you all the PR, once you know all the PR companies, and they email you, like, hey, interview this person. They got this song coming out or this album coming out. And that's not really why we started it, is to interview people about new releases. Like, we just started it to bullshit and like chat. Because you know, let people hear from a different side of the artist, where we're not just spewing about the new release and giving the whole PR rundown about that. Like, just chat about them as like people, and like, well, what do you like to fucking do? Like, let's learn something new about you that you can't go read on Wikipedia, you know. But it's kind of turned into that, and then that gets kind of monotonous. So I go through phases of like, man, like we should designate like a month break twice a year or something and like reset, especially in the summer. Summer gets fucking nuts because I'm off of school, and then we're always trying to go down to all these festivals and do crazy shit with them, and then we have more content than we know what to edit, and like it gets nuts. So we need to designate, I think, a month off or something would be, so then you don't go through those dry spells of,
Right.
you know, because I could easily sit down like the winter months, you know, where it gets cold and I just don't want to do nothing, you know?
Yeah, it was hard to come through this one. It's nice here. I don't know about where you're at, but
yeah, it's 75.
The weather's nice. It's like shit. It's gonna rain, I think, tomorrow all day. And I was like,
same.
Man, oh well, we'll keep it short. But
yeah, it's like when it's nice days like this, it's like, man, I need to get shit done around the house. It's like I have all this new motivation. It's just because it's warm out now.
yeah, it's weird.
But, yeah.
The sunlight does something to us for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, what's the music scene like getting artists through your way and stuff? Like you guys get pretty steady concerts coming through?
Yeah. It's weird because, you know, Indianapolis is supposed to be the crossroads of America. So you would think every, you know, anyone traveling should stop there. But it's actually not. They kind of hop and skip it because if you play, Chicago is 3 hours north of us.
Mm-hmm.
And right on the other side, you got Louisville to the south. It's only an hour and a half. Or if you go to Cincinnati, it's an hour and a half, hour and 40. So it's like they'll hit one of them, skip over Indy, and just go to Chicago. Or vice versa. Or cut over to Columbus, or maybe even all the way up to Detroit. But that's kind of the run of it. But a lot of it, most of them stop for Indy, but it just depends.
Yeah. Well, there's a good venue there that can't remember the name of it, but Alex Williams, because he's from Indiana. I don't know if you dig into his stuff very much, but he's fucking super underrated. But he always talks about a venue there in Indy that's always really good. But shit, I can't remember it. There it is, Duke's. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our spot for honky tonk music and any kind of country music, really. But yeah, Alex has played there several times. I've seen on the chalkboard there. Duke's is a great spot. It's like one of my favorites, but man, they got a lot of the owner passed away, Dustin. Awesome guy. He had a lot of things going for him there. And then the pandemic hit. Well, the pandemic hit first, and then he passed. And so they're still trying to work out all the kinks, and there's you know, people in place. And some of the people that I knew or linked up with have already moved on to other things. They don't even work there anymore. So it's kind of just kind of reestablishing for me on my end. Some of the faces that are in there. But yeah, they're still pulling in great shows there.
That's one that I want to go to at some point. Indy's not too far, but
hit me up when you come through. We'll go.
I mean, we go to Kentucky a couple times a year and drive through it. Like, might as well hit a show on the way. But,
we're trying
crossroads of America deal.
I'm trying to do like a benefit show and raise some money. And Duke said I could have it there and just have a few bands that have been on the show before if they want to come and donate their time, really, you know.
Yeah.
But that's all still
that'd be cool.
Early stages.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It looked like you guys had Jason stopped by my shop the other day, where I work, and we did a little interview.
I seen that.
We brought that up. That you guys were all together for recording. Said you guys were together for like 5 hours doing stuff.
Dude, it was so Ben DM'd us one day and was like, hey, like let's do an interview or whatnot. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, sure. Of course. And we're trying to figure out when to do it because they're really busy there for a second, right when they're around Iowa City. But then they had a day off in Madison. Like they played Friday night, not Saturday. And then Sunday they played in Milwaukee. So I was like, well, what are you guys doing on Saturday? Because Madison's 3 hours away. So we'll just go up for the show. Friday night and stay and do an interview on Saturday. And they had kept the same Airbnb, so it worked out perfect. And then, the day before, Ben's like, "Hey, you guys want to do one with Jason also?" And I was like, "Duh, yeah, man, of course." And then we get there, and he's like, "Well, let's get Resident Rogues in here, and you can do one with those guys too while you're here." And they were playing songs, and Jason didn't know what he was getting into. He walked in like mid Ben Todd song, which actually made for a pretty cool clip. But
that's what he said.
But shoot, man. And he walked in. He's like, "I don't know what's going on. Am I playing a song?" And I was like, "If you want." But shit, we got there at like 11 a.m. And yeah, by the time we wrapped up everything there, it was, yeah, I think it was like 5 or 6 hours we were in that not very large Airbnb of theirs, but it was a good time. I'm not complaining about it. Yeah. Ben's like, "Yeah, you should do an interview with Resident Rogues." And I was like, "I have zero notes at all about this. Like, I don't." He's like, "You'll be fine. Like, it'll mean a lot." And I'm like, "All right, if you're asking us to, like, we'll figure it out." But
so you did Keith and Sparrow
Keith and Sparrow.
Oh, nice. Yep.
And we had everything set up for songs at that point. So we just had like a condenser in the middle of the room, and just everybody was chiming in on that one. So it was it was more of a recording of our conversation than a podcast. But I mean, that's kind of what it is anyways. So
yeah,
I haven't listened back to it or nothing, but it's like, so I have to wait on Ben's to release his. And I feel like I want to release them in sequential order of how they happened, because we reference shit from earlier in the day. So like, it wouldn't make sense to do it out of order. Right. Because of his song, like, he played some new ones off his upcoming solo album, Ben did. So because of that, like, I can't release it till the end of the month. So just kind of waiting on everything else. But
nice.
Probably be able to get some of these videos out that aren't those songs before it, and kind of hype things up a little bit, because they did a badass Towns cover.
Yeah, that's what Jason was telling me.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that one's pretty sweet. But
yeah, the weird thing too is when I saw that, like, Keith has to get back with me. Originally, I think we said tonight was going to be the night I was going to do Keith and Sparrow. And then I saw that picture. I was like, and Jason came when he came with Lost Dogs last week, and I was just talking to him. He's like, "Let's squeeze it in. I'll come over." I was like, "Well, let me ask my boss if I can take, an hour off the middle of the day at work, and we'll just do it at the shop."
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah. So funny.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, for guys like that. Yeah. I'd just call in sick the whole day. Why not?
Yeah.
Not actually, because my principal found out about the podcast. So that was a joke if she's listening to this somehow. She came into work, I shit you not, the day after we released Dead South. And I started that off with Banjo Odyssey. It just, the whole podcast came in with, "I guess she's my cousin, but she needs some sweet loving." And I walk into school, and it literally dropped like that morning. She's like, "Hey, I found your podcast and I listened to an episode." I was like, "Fuck me if the first one you listen to is that one." But great. It wasn't. She was the one before.
Well, you got lucky.
Got lucky. But
yeah, you got to do one with them all in person, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep. In their green room and the Englert Theater, and the fire alarm was going off. But we caught like a half hour there where it wasn't. It was, that was an experience. But yeah. That was also one where it's like, I had texted the owner, like the event manager or something of the theater in town. He's a talented musician himself, and I've done some work with him before, and he's new to that job, but I had texted him like the day before because I didn't know that they were coming, and I was like, "Hey, any chance you can help me get a hold of their TM?" And he texted me back like at 3:00 in the afternoon or 2:00 in the afternoon, the day of the show, and he's like, would like 4:30 work? I'm like, an hour and a half from now? Like, okay. Like, just threw in some shit in my backpack.
Gotta be on the fly. Better be ready.
Like, so I had like one microphone that we just passed around the circle. It wasn't quite ideal, but we got her done. But
that's great.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. But it's this weird dynamic now because we started it up, and right after we started it up, and most of our podcasts have been virtual anyways, because me and Garrett live halfway across the globe, or continent rather. But now that live music's starting back up, like more bands are coming through, and we know more bands now. So like it's ideal to do in-person stuff. But then now Garrett's just trapped up in Canada, and he kind of misses out on some of that stuff. But yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. I'm still convincing him to move down. Get with the times. Come to the US of A. It's warmer.
Yeah. When we had Nate on too, of the Dead South.
Yeah.
Speaking of that song, I told him none of my cousins were pretty enough to be kissing.
Dude, I was telling him my dad fucking plays that song at like family gatherings, and he'll sing it to the point where you have to know what it means, like it's not like background music. He makes a point that you understand that they're talking about fucking your cousin. It's like, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I don't got cousins but it's still, if you're in the room with them and he's playing that fucking song,
that's funny.
Not the least not the least comfortable thing in the world. Not the most comfortable thing in the world. Yeah, that one, not the most comfortable.
So what other music do you listen to outside of country music, or that you used to, or whatever?
So shoot, I guess, I talked about giving up on the country thing when all I thought that existed was mainstream country. In that time, I don't know, I went through like my regular mainstream phase of like whatever the hell that is, like whatever's on the pop stations. But I was always big into like the early 2000s hip hop. And then I don't know, I went through a Kanye phase, and after that, I don't know, I was never as big into music. I still listen to like the 90s country, I guess, in that phase. I just given up on the new stuff. But during college, it was just a ensemble of different music. But I don't know. My number one favorite song of all time yet is Shoop by Salt and Pepper. So
classic.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, classic rock too, like hair bands, all that shit. Led Zeppelin, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess if I'm not listening to like this genre of country, I'm probably listening to classic rock or stuff like that.
Stuff that still probably has some country in it,
Yeah, I mean, fuck the Eagles. Like, they're more country than anything on country radio.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that gets brought up a lot on our show too, is the whole pop country thing. I don't know. It's kind of our fault, if people's fault, for listening to it. I mean, these guys are going to make some crazy money, and I don't blame them.
It's not the people's fault. It's the lack of access. It's the lack of knowledge. Like, I feel like some people don't know. Like, if you've never heard like what's actually out there, then how are you to know that what you're listening to is so shitty? I mean, you should know. It's all about the same shit, but I don't know. It's a access thing. But now the radio stations, Ronnie Dunn was telling us about how they're like, to have a mainstream country song on the radio now, like the length of the song, the duration has gone down and down and down, and now it's like you can't have a mainstream radio song that's more than 3 minutes anymore, because they need that airtime for ads, because they're making less money now, less people are listening. So I mean, I think mainstream radio is going to get phased out here, because now people have access to the good stuff. but we're a
Right.
ways out. But it's getting to that point. There's a whole awakening happening right now. I feel like more people know. Like now, like fuck, man, I got drunk on Friday night and I sang "I Swear to God" by Tyler Childers karaoke night at a bar in Iowa City, and like that was an option to sing, and people knew it and they liked it. Well, they didn't like my voice, I'm sure, because I can't sing, but they liked the song, you know. Like,
Yeah.
that shit would never have happened a couple of years ago. But I don't know. I'm optimistic.
I agree with you. I think that was more though in like 2000. Because now, like after, let's say 2010 and on, it is available. There is access to it, but you gotta dig. It's online.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still not mainstream though, like you're saying.
I think it's getting talked about more though. Like I was saying with the like all these different platforms of people talking, like say what you will about Whiskey Riff, but they do some good there in that department, you know. They don't. I'm not the biggest fan of how they do everything, but they do get more eyes and ears on stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's more visible for an average person going through social media. You're gonna see it hell of a lot more right now than you ever would have before. And then I don't know, more YouTube video sessions, like a good quality. The gym's on VHS, Western as fuck. Like
those guys are killing it.
Like it takes you're telling me if someone doesn't stumble across Billy Strings on there watching them play Dust in a Baggie, they're not going to be like, what the fuck is this? Let's find out more. Like, you know,
exactly.
Like,
he's from a different planet, I'm sure.
There's got to be,
he's
you know,
flat picking.
No one can be that good at guitar and that good at fishing. Like it's not legal. But I don't know. I think that it's drastically different. Like 2010, there's a lot more social media wave, but now it's just being talked about more. And
that makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe I'm dead wrong. I don't know. I just that's the way I see it.
Where do you think it went wrong? I mean, it's so difficult.
Where did it go?
Oh my gosh. It'd be a 5
I don't know, man. I'm not old enough to answer that question. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, you're saying you're listening to 90s. I would say in the 90s.
90. Oh, it was going around in the 90s. It's probably going. But
they also had 90s, it was like a 50-50 cut. You know what I mean? To me,
I mean, like shit. It sounded good at least. You know, there's some honky tonk in there. There's some meaningful lyrics in there. It wasn't anything synthetic, like but it was more about the money and what was going to sell. It's always been about the money and what's going to sell. But
right.
I don't know. It just seems like late 2000s there. It just seemed like every year since the late 2000s, it's been like the more ridiculous sounding we make this and the more fake we make this sound. And the less and less country we make it sound, the more money we're going to make because we can play it on the pop stations. Like Jason Aldean's Dirt Road Anthem, where they started rapping in the songs, and that song was huge. And then it's playing on, I just remember that song being played on mainstream radio, not country radio, like the pop stations. And I was like,
oh
shit. Yeah. Like at that point where they start playing the country on the pop stations and making that much more, like buku more dollars at that point, like we were fucked. And then from that point on, it's just more ridiculous to get them on the, you know, to get more people from other genres listening and making more and more money. And now you got Walker Hayes doing fancy like fucking bullshit. I hate that guy. He's so bad, dude. Have you heard him play like actually live? Like it is atrocious, dude. The dude, he had a video on Good Morning America where he did like that 90s country thing, or was it that one? I don't know. He was doing all these whoops and hollers and it was terrible. He couldn't play the guitar he had in his hands. The auto-tune clearly wasn't working that day. He sounded like shit. And like they covered that shit up. You cannot find that video outside of the one I took, like of my TV. I woke up in the morning to that awful sound. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, this is one of the most popular songs out there right now. And it sounds awful. So like I tweeted it out, and then that's the only there's nothing. It's gone. It's like they don't want people to know how bad he actually is. And I don't know. It just gets ridiculous.
See, this
ain't got no souls down there.
I can't even stand it because I don't even know like some of that. I'm assuming the dude you're even talking about right now, I don't even know him because I can't take it. Like I can't even watch.
Oh, you've heard fancy.
Is this the younger dude that has like blonde hair? Or am I totally off?
No, he's not even young, dude. That's the worst part. He's probably like 40 years old.
But oh shit! See, I'm way off, man. I got the wrong guy in mind.
If you own a TV, you've heard that fancy like Applebee's song.
Oh, that okay, yeah.
That motherfucker. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know the name.
So yeah, that guy. That's the idiot we're talking about. He's probably not an idiot. He's smart. He has no talent, and he's making a shitload of money. He's probably a smart guy. But
that's what I say about half these guys. Like, you know, it's probably somebody I can hang out with, have a beer with, go fishing, or do whatever. Talk about country stuff. But then if they start playing their shit, I'll be like, dude, turn it off. We can't do this.
So bad. I mean, yeah, there's one artist that I can think of that is now mainstream. I get along with him quite well, but you won't find me listening to his music. But I can't say who it is. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So how many of those when you get the emails flood in of just like, hey, there's a new artist or a new song of this guy or whatever, how many of them do you turn down?
99%.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably get 50 emails a day.
Yeah.
From
it's crazy.
And I don't hardly click. Like, I don't got the time to click on that. We need a secretary or something. Like,
I know, man. I get some, and I'm like, I can't.
Dude, so the worst thing ever, or I don't know, I kind of like it. Maybe the best thing ever is Garrett put my home address on our website.
Shit.
So people send me shit.
I can only imagine.
It's entertaining. Like I have a CD player in my car, and that's like the only CD player I really own. So if they send me a CD, I'm gonna pop it in. But some of them, some of them ain't the greatest things you ever heard. The best one I ever got, like not sonically the best, but like the most entertaining one I got was a cassette with like a oil painting of a donkey on it. It looked like a grandma like had painted this donkey for the album artwork, and then there's like a fold out thing inside of all these other oil paintings with the song list, like the track list. And it's like it was a cassette. It's like I have 2 cassette players technically on my vinyl, but they don't work. Like I can't even listen to
the cassettes are coming back around, man.
I know, but I can't. I don't have one. Like there's a slot for it on my record player on both of them, but they don't work, and I don't know how to fix them. Like,
yeah,
I'm not really gonna put in the effort to fix them. But I don't know. I wish I had that thing still. I think I gave it to a friend as a gag gift. But
yeah, that's great. So who else you got coming up that you're going to be interviewing? Anyone that you haven't said that, you know, to the public?
Those 3, you know, the Resident Rogues, Jason Day West and Ben Todd, are already recorded. On the schedule coming up soon here is we're gonna have Cody Cannon on from Whiskey Myers, so they got new stuff in the works here. Shoot, I'm really bad at this. That's like the big one coming up. Computer died, so I can't check my email. That's good. 49 Winchester's got one of the greatest albums ever made coming out in May, so I'll definitely we'll be doing something with them about that album. I've been talking with I'm good buddies with Josh Malloy, Oklahoma singer, songwriter. he's got a new single coming out this Friday. I'm not sure when this podcast is going to drop, but he's got a new single coming out this Friday. So doing something with him around that and kind of all his new releases. But shoot, I don't know. Garrett kind of handles most of the booking stuff because he's more organized than I am. He just tells me what date. I tell him what dates not to book, and then he does it.
Right.
But
nice.
Yeah. But we both kind of got busy here. We haven't recorded too much outside of the in-person stuff. And then there's been, we got one coming up with Po Ramblin' Boys. And
I just released with them on
I seen you.
Friday.
I just had them on.
CJ.
I'll probably listen to that as homework before we have them on, see what they're like. People. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know, man. What about you? You got any good ones coming up?
I need to probably start editing that one with Jason tonight. Yeah. Probably knock that one out. We did a little music recording. Normally, most of my shows are all talk.
Yeah.
But him. Let's see who else I got lined up. Got some more in-person stuff. I think the next in-person one. Well, your buddy Justin Wells.
Oh yeah.
I made a comment the other night about him having some big balls to be covering Blue Moon of Kentucky.
I seen that. I seen you post that.
Yeah. And that's what kind of started it. And I said, shit, if you're going to be in town, let's just do it before the show. And he's like, hell yeah. He goes, I hate Zoom, so let's do it.
Right, yeah. We had to do ours with him, which is dumb. We should have just waited to do it. But he did it like in a McDonald's place.
Yeah.
And then he was like he was literally coming to Iowa, or he was in Iowa the week before or something. Like, we just messed that one up royally. We should have just done that in person. But it was right around when he came out with that Blue Moon in Kentucky for the tornado relief. Was it?
Right.
Yeah, it was for the tornado relief. So it was kind of a time sensitive one, but still, he was literally there like the week before. But
he'll be at the Hi-Fi with Hi-Fi is a decent little venue in Indianapolis in the arts community area.
Oh, cool.
Fountain Square. And Cole Chaney's opening. So, I mean,
you've had him on, yeah?
I haven't had Cole on, no. I've reached out, but I've never heard anything from any of his people.
Shit, I'll shoot him a text and see if he replies.
I'm sure I might bump into him when I see Justin or something. Yeah. But
do a double header with him, or I'll just tell him to look out for you there. But
yeah, I'm digging his stuff.
He's a good guy.
So that's
his was our first. His was our first in-person interview ever. Was Cole Chaney.
Was he?
Because we rented an Airbnb in Lexington and had him and Nick Jamerson, and they were there all day just swapping songs and shooting the shit. Yeah. Followed by, so we did those two, and they went well, and we were excited because we liked both of them quite a bit. And then we went to Sierra Farrell and John R. And we did one with Sierra in person there. And then we were like, all right, we're done for the weekend, let's celebrate. And we did some drinking, and Garrett got drunk enough. He walked up to Charles Wesley Godwin and said, come back to the Airbnb after the show. We'll do a podcast. But we were all really, really drunk. So he was one of our first in-person interviews that never aired. He was our first interview that never aired.
It never aired one. Just because of...
No, dude, it was so bad. We were hammered, and we had met some people who subscribed to our Patreon, and they were like, yeah, you come back with us, guys. And they were and then his dog was there and being loud, and it was disaster, dude. So we redid that one over Zoom a week or two later.
Yeah.
Hey, well, we've been buddies with him ever since, so it worked out. But yeah, that was not our most professional decision to try to do that podcast.
Yeah. Who else I got coming up? Todd Day Waits coming back to Duke's. I hung out with him a little bit last time he was in town. He opened for
cool.
Nick Shoulders.
Oh, he's a character.
Nick, yeah, he's funny, man. He's been on twice.
Smart.
In fact,
Yeah.
this just came today.
Woo!
Finally get something in the mail.
That's pretty.
Then
That's pretty.
Oh, you've had Hannah Juanita on the show, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
They'll be back in May, her and Mose. And,
okay.
I've had Mose on separately as well, so I might put them together as a package too. I haven't even told them this, so they might when they come to any other game, I'm going to interview you guys together for the show or something, you know.
That'll be fun. Yeah, she was great. I sent her right before we had her on, or maybe before we even scheduled it. I sent her to one of my coworkers. I was like, "You'll like this girl," and now that's all she listens to is Hannah Juanita.
Yeah, but, you got a great voice.
Yeah, good sound. That's a good sound. But I guess we got. Oh no, you go for it. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I just got to know them, both of them, at the Birds Creek Music Festival. Have you checked in on that lineup?
Birds Creek.
It's in Tennessee. Dude, it's a killer lineup, and I feel like I went last year, and it's more of a subdued type of show, and it's more intimate, but there's still a lot going on. You know, it's badass. Plus, there's like a creek on the property.
Yeah,
you know, you can go swimming or whatever. It's hot as hell out.
Oh, cool.
So it's a good time.
When is that?
Man, I gotta look. I better tell you.
Oh, I can Google it. Google exists.
I'd rather say it on here just in case someone stumbles across it. They can join the party. Let's see. It is in July 7th to the 10th. So there's Thursday through Sunday of music.
I don't believe I have anything that week.
Well, let's see who's playing there. I mean, there's a whole lot. Lost Dogs will be there as one of the headliners.
Oh, cool.
Del McCurry. And Hannah, Mose, all them. Nick Shoulders.
That's enough for me to go.
Logan.
Also,
yeah, man, I can't even think. Yeah, Logan and Local Honeys. Jeez, there's so many on there.
Everybody. Yeah. That's like reminds me of Laurel Cove a little bit.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Yeah. Did you go down for that last year? Or?
I didn't.
Oh, you going this year?
I'll be at a convention in Kansas, so I can't make it unless I make like part of it. Yeah, I know. I was bummed out when I saw it. That's a great lineup.
Yeah, that was awesome last year, but this year's gonna be pretty insane. But it'll be good to get like Cole up on the main stage because he was down on the not main stage last year where it was like all acoustic, or they might have had speakers. Yeah, I think they had speakers, but it wasn't like much of a stage. But they had to delay the main stage last year because so many people went down for Cole's and he like went over his time slot. So like there wasn't enough people up at the main stage yet. So
that's great.
That was pretty cool. But
yeah, it looks like a good time. Awesome spot. There's like a creek that separates the crowd from the stage.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like a spring or a creek but they pull it up. It's more of a pond, really, right in front of the stage.
It's like a moat.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Keep the drunks from trying to crawl on stage or something.
Yeah, it's more the opposite effect because all I wanted to do was jump in it, but I don't think they want you to do that. But they put like, little light up lily pads and stuff on it. And laid back country picker, he was like, he had a kiddie pool and was fishing in it the entire time. Like he'd recast it. And I think he had like one of those plastic fish on it, like a little Barbie pool, But that was kind of funny. But yeah, it's a great time.
Try and hit.
So Master Musicians in Somerset. I can't remember the date on that. That was a couple weeks after Laurel Cove, maybe 3 or 4 weeks after that. I think it's still in June, end of June. And then, so we'll be back at that. It's the same weekend as Big Sky. And we were kind of torn on between the two, but the people down at Master Musicians are so great to us. And still, it's a lineup that, we'd love to see. So yeah, we like the people down there. And Big Sky is kind of a big production. It's like a California company that comes in and puts it on. And we talked with them, and they really didn't care. You could tell they don't care if we come, kind of deal. They want us to share the link as much as possible, but they could care less if we're actually there. As Master Musicians is more of a tighter knit production, and they genuinely want us to come. Like it's pretty, they got Turnpike up at Big Sky, but I'd rather go somewhere that appreciates us. But
yeah.
Not dissing on Big Sky, it's a phenomenal lineup, but
right.
Master Musicians, you can't beat the people down there. But,
nice.
And then I might go back to Born and Raised because that's on there's nothing else going on that weekend down in Oklahoma. We went down there last year. They took care of us real nice too. Those are good people. And sweet setup that they got. This. It's the same place they do Rocklahoma. They rock and roll music fest. They do that the week before, and they keep everything set up. Change all the banners for Born and Raised. That was a badass. That was a badass venue or whole festival, really.
Nice.
What about you?
I'm still in the air because we just got a house. So I'm in the middle of moving, currently. The wife and mother-in-law right now are at the other house painting while I'm here podcasting.
There you go. Oh, I got this interview. Be a shame if I missed out on painting.
But I'll be trying to get everything together here. So, but I don't know. Depends on the schedule. I might hit Muddy Roots again. Have you ever been to Muddy Roots?
I've definitely heard of it.
It's fucking wild. It's wild. Jason puts that on there, and he's a great guy, but he mixes all kinds of different music together.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have someone like a punk rock band that's just fucking wild as hell, and then on the next stage he had Ralph Stanley play it. So you can imagine some Ralph Stanley up there playing against a bunch of punk rockers with mohawks and shit, and they're mosh pitting the bluegrass music, legitimate mosh pit.
That's
you
awesome.
Won't see anything like that anywhere else. Stuff like that goes on. It's just crazy.
That's cool. Now there's some bluegrass festival in Indiana that my buddy stumbled upon.
There's a couple.
And it was, dude, I can't remember. It was in some town that claimed to be the home of
Bill Monroe.
It's
in Bean Blossom, Indiana.
Blossom, yeah.
That's where he built his music park and campground.
Gotcha.
So he played there for years. It's they also have a bluegrass Hall of Fame there.
Mm-hmm.
Kinds of cool
shit. My buddy brought me back a whole bunch of Bill Monroe gear from that. Keychains and just oh man, there's 6 random Bill Monroe items that all said Bean Blossom on them. What the hell? Where did you stumble into?
It's a big deal around here for bluegrassers for sure, but they've a couple different owners. It's changed hands a few times, and they've really done quite a bit now. Now they're doing different festivals. They've extended on that. One's more Jamgrass, Hippie Hill type festival mixture. Mm-hmm. Then they have traditional bluegrass, the Bill Monroe type stuff, where they'll have still a lot of great old timers, Larry Sparks and Bobby Osborne, and Paul Ramblin' Boys is playing it this year, actually.
Oh, cool.
That's called the
Bill Monroe. I think he
stumbled
into the. Yeah. I think he stumbled into the hippie one.
Yeah. There's one that's all about in the spring usually, because the mushrooms start popping and everyone goes on mushroom hunts while the music's going on and it gets. Then they have a blues festival. It's supposed to be the largest gathering of musicians with harmonicas. So everyone's running around blowing in the harmonicas, driving everybody nuts, you know.
This place just likes to be like have a claim to fame for everything.
I know it, man.
It was so proud. Like I could just like, I mean, I wasn't there, but from all the gear that he brought back, they were so damn proud of Bill Monroe. As they should be. But then you Google it and it's like there's not much comes up about Bill Monroe and Bean Blossom.
Yeah, no. No,
like,
I don't think
it's like the home of Bill Monroe, and it's like that's not true.
There's just some RV campers parked there, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Then they branched out into the Americana Festival there too now. I think this is their first year doing it, so it's got more of a blend.
Okay.
Like the Hog Slop string band's playing it this year and some others, you know. But yeah, I'm going to go.
Sounds good. Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, I might have to make it back for that if my buddy's going. Just tag along. But
yeah.
So being in Indiana, you definitely see more Appalachian country than Texas country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which state do you think has the best country?
I got a soft spot in my heart for Eastern Kentucky because a lot of my family that side.
I gotcha.
My mom's side is like Pennington Gap, Virginia, so all that coal mining type songs, those hit. My mom was a coal miner's daughter, so
cool.
I got the relation feel, you know, even though I've born and raised and always lived in Indiana. But that extra, I love Appalachia type music, you know, that's I like it all though. I love country blues and some of that Delta style blues.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Jimmy Rogers fan. So yeah, you know.
Hell yeah.
But some of that swampier stuff hits home too when you get down there.
Yeah.
I like it all.
I'm with you.
It depends on my mood.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. I think I don't know, it's hard to say a state in that region because like Logan and John R.
Yeah.
Like they're West Virginia, but like it's the same style of music. Like it's Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky, Western West Virginia, like 49 Winchester, they're Virginia, but they're right on the border. Like, what's the difference? I don't know. They'd probably not like that. What's the difference? I don't know. They probably have some state pride, I'm sure, but it's that region, whatever the region you want to call that, Appalachia, but that specific region of Appalachia, man, there's too much good stuff coming out of there, and historically coming out of there too. But
yeah, historically and even now, like I feel like Kentucky's killing it across the board, and then you know I like Bristol area as a home base for a lot of those artists to come and go. That Western North Carolina mountainous type stuff, that region.
Yeah,
that's all home base.
Raleigh's a melting pot of music, really, of all kinds.
Yeah, it's still where you can go and just find some people. I don't feel like that's around here where I live. I know some jams that happen, but it's not like there where every other house somebody has a guitar hanging on the wall or a banjo or something. You know, it's just not around where I'm at.
Yeah, people are brought up different. Everybody's brought up down there with a stringed instrument in their hands at some point at a young age. Like we don't get that. Not in Iowa. We just grow up with corn cob in our hands, you know.
Corn cob.
Learn how to shuck those things.
You play a mean corn cob.
Yeah. Whittle them into little pipes. That was our instrument. It was corn cob pipes.
Yep. Yeah, around here, same thing. I always yell at my parents for not putting an instrument in my hand, getting me lessons somewhere. I played sports growing up. That was my thing, but
yeah, same here. Well, until running, if you want to call running a sport. Yeah, that was my deal.
Competition.
Track. Oh yeah, but it's not like you think sports. You're thinking football, basketball, baseball. There's no balls in track.
All right, Mike.
But yeah,
I appreciate you sitting down with me, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, dude.
Connect and chat or whatnot. So
yeah,
keep up. I'll be
thanks for having me
listening.
on. Yeah, man. Yeah, I look forward to hearing all your upcoming stuff too, and hopefully we cross paths at one of those shows or festivals or somewhere. I mean,
I'm sure
surely.
we will at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot our friend Jesse Daniel. I got him coming on this summer. That won't be in person too. He wanted to wait till we got in person.
Awesome.
Him and Jody will be in town. They're playing at that Duke's as well. So.
Oh yeah. Shit. If that's a weekend I'm not doing something,
I think it's July.
I might have to hit that.
July 15th or something. I don't know.
That's so far out. I don't know what I'm doing in like 2 days, let alone July 15th. But I'll have to check that out because I'm like ashamed. I haven't seen Jesse in person yet, like play. Like we've interviewed him. Like I think he's been on the show 3 times. I love his music, but I've never caught a live show. I bought tickets for my sister in San Diego when he played in San Diego, but so she's gone. I haven't even gone. She doesn't even know who he is.
That's not fair.
I was like, go to this. Here's your tickets. But
yeah, it was funny. The last time they came, they sold out. They sold it out, and like, hey, you wanna introduce the band and stuff? I'm like, well, shit, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Hell yeah.
Was up there half drunk, just mumbling like, here they are. Boom, over.
That's what I did when Drayton came up here. He put on that show for Drayton Farley, and they had me introduced. There's 2 openers for him, and I had to introduce everybody. And by the time Drayton actually got up there, I was like, Drayton Farley. Like that was feeling it. So like every 2 seconds, my buddy was putting a new banquet in my pocket. It wasn't my fault I got drunk. It was his.
Yeah, exactly. I love Drayton too. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff in the works for him too. I'm excited to see where he goes. But yeah. All right, man. I'll let you. Well,
quit.
You'll let me go because I'm on your show, but I don't want to. Yeah, keep you from painting me.
Right on.
Got to get back and help the wife.
But. Yeah, I know. I'm feeling guilty as shit. So. All right, man.
But appreciate you later. Yeah, inviting me on, man. It's a good time, and I'll catch you at one of these shows for sure. All right, take care.
See ya.